Are you aware that persons have become obese not because they eat so much, but because of the space they find themselves in? Are you aware that others have anxiety disorders just because of the design of the space they live in? Hello, and welcome to this introductory video on the built environment and health. One may ask, why the built environment and health as a channel? Yes, it is a merge of two areas, health and what is called the built environment. The built environment because I've noticed a disconnect in the built spaces we find ourselves, the health dynamics that we continuously record, and that is a golden opportunity for us to review. As we go along, I'm sure you get to understand what the built environment is, what the disconnect I'm in to expand on this. Yes, so I have quite an unusual background. I grew up supervising and participating in, almost every aspect of the built environment space. But I've had a purely health science background. So it's more of a measure of experiences I have. And yes, they say experience is the best teacher. I have a golden opportunity to share with you a certain disconnect, a topic that many may be oblivious of or just don't care about, but goes a long way to affect one's health. Globally, we have noticed there's a dwindling in health despite the advancement in technologies. Now, there's a whole lot, unlike formerly when science had not advanced to the point where we have point of care devices, very portable devices that allow you to check your health status. Despite all these advances, we keep having lots of health issues, pandemics, epidemics here and there, and the built environment ropes perfectly into the health discussion I'll be having. And health ropes perfectly into the built environment as well. So it's a hand-in-hand situation. In the subsequent videos, I'm sure you come to appreciate why this measure is critical. Per my view, it is not just critical for you in my country or in parts of Africa, but for the world as a whole. It is noteworthy that Europe has taken a giant leap. I have followed the European space, and I realized that they've taken a giant leap when it comes to improving the built environment so as to optimize health. It is equally important that I prompt, because this is a global interest, because everybody finds themselves in a built environment and everybody has health as something to optimize and to care for. I'll start by discussing briefly who a built environment professional is and who a health science professional is. And even with that, I would take one or two persons in the two spaces, just so we advance the discussion faster. So the built environment professionals are a group of skilled workers whose training allow them to put together the beautiful spaces that you call a home, a school, a church, the stadia. They come together to create spaces that make you productive and very safe. Examples of these professionals are the carpenter, they are the architect, they are the engineer, they are the masons, they are the electricians, they are the painter, the interior decor persons, and so on. Your list is endless, because day in, day out, we are getting new persons with good innovation coming into the space. I will, however, focus on the architect, as I earlier said, for our discussion. Now, who is the health science professional? Health science professionals are a team of skilled persons who have been trained in health-related issues and are adept at offering health services. So these include the medical doctor, the physician assistant, the nurse, the midwife, the laboratory scientist, the radiographer, the physiotherapist, the list is on and on and on. They come together to improve your health, to help you recover from unhealthy conditions, and even to give advice, just advice, sometimes on critical decisions to take that may have genetic components. These two persons play a critical role in our lives. And the critical role they play in our life is that they help us improve our health, whereas they give us safety as well. I have found a critical gap, a gap that I believe we all have to pay attention to. And it is because the built environment professionals have a lot of training that allows them to put up beautiful spaces, which even includes where the medical doctor, as my focus, also attends to you in the hospital setting with, because the hospital is also a built environment. However, many persons have taken ill, not because they have genetic predisposition to a condition, not because they have a family history of a disease condition, not because they are not careful, they are not concerned about their health, but because they are being influenced by elements that they have no control over, because they have not been attentive to, they have not paid attention to, they have not consciously improved that element that affects their health. And that is the built environment. Built environment professionals have a lot of information when it comes to safety, not much when it comes to health. And as we go on, you understand what I mean by health. We need to understand the difference between health and safety. So quickly, health, as defined by the World Health Organization, is the complete physical, social, emotional, even mental well-being of an individual, and not just the absence of disease. Whereas safety has to do with the short-term, immediate solutions to potentially injurious or hazardous conditions. So you clean the floors of water, you wear safety boots, you wear hand gloves when handling corrosive chemicals and all of that, put on a helmet, have guardrails so that you don't fall off a staircase, watch your... So all the things that avoid hazardous conditions, they have to do with safety. So you have the chance to quickly mitigate a potentially injurious condition that one may fall victim to. But health is with a detail. With health, you are thinking about the diseases, you are thinking about the elements that even trigger the diseases, you are thinking about things like cancers, you are thinking about HIV, you are thinking about diabetes, you are thinking about hypertension. Some of these disease conditions are taking a new shape, they are taking a new face. Formerly, we had a lot of infectious diseases as our challenge. So if someone was sick, they had malaria, they had cholera, HIV, they had hepatitis. These are quite with infectious agents, that is, organisms that cause disease. However, we notice now the disease conditions are not because of insects and infectious agents biting or infecting another, but largely because people are exposed to elements that are dwindling down their health. And examples include diabetes. Now, cardiovascular issues are top-notch, strokes are top-notch. And one may think strokes are not always due to infectious elements. They could be due to non-infectious elements as well. Diabetes, strokes, cancers, hypertension, even the mental health issues, suicidal tendencies, a lot of them are now increasing. And there's something about the built environment and the elements therein that people have not taken note of. I hope that I'm able to take you on this journey where we gradually begin to understand how the built environment plays a crucial role in optimizing our health and well-being. The Built Environment and Health channel ultimately seeks to inform you about the need to review your spaces. Did you know that a lot of people do not need medicines for the conditions that you have? All you need is a change in the space, a change in your built environment to improve your health and well-being. So what is the disconnect? The disconnect is that the medical doctor, as I have chosen as my focus for the health science professional, and the architect, as I have chosen for the built environment professional, their products affect us forever. Once you live in a space, work in a space, school in a space, worship in a space, pray in a space, whatever you do in another space, remember that a built environment professional created the space. When you are sick, however, the medical doctor in another space called the hospital, the healthcare center, the clinic, whichever, attends to you. What then is the challenge? The challenge that arises from the disconnect of the two spaces, the health science practice and the built environment space, is that a lot of people are taking drugs that they do not need to take. A lot of people are taking drugs for conditions that they have brought upon themselves simply by neglecting their spaces. The medical doctor sits in the consulting room, attends to patients who present with different conditions, and he or she, as a health scientist, is expected to find solutions for their condition by trying to understand them. It is unfortunate that sometimes they are left at their wit ends and may prefer solutions that, yes, are supposed to be just temporary measures to alleviate the pain, the suffering, the condition that one may complain of. Still wondering what it is? We all live in built environments, and the health professional does not know much about the built environment of the clients. At best, they may want to have their address, family members' contact name, the area, location, geographic location of the client. But they do not know anything about the rooms they sleep in. They know nothing about the kitchen they cook in. They know nothing about the washrooms they use. They know nothing even about the spaces on their compounds. It means then that some patients actually have what I call traumatic factors, that is triggers in their rooms, which could be poor air quality, could be poor lighting element, could be noise pollution, etc., in their rooms that is making them sick. As such, these persons may not have the need for medication. All they need is what? A change in the spaces they live in. Are you aware that persons have become obese, not because they eat so much, but because of the space they find themselves in? Are you aware that others have anxiety disorders just because of the design of the space they live in? Are you even aware that others have respiratory conditions that actually triggers from microbial elements in their room potentially that they are not aware of? The problem then again is you go to the hospital, you go for medications for conditions that do not need drugs. And what it means is that over time, you may be developing organ failures, you may be having systemic problems, and soon you may lose your health and well-being. Mental health issues have been well linked to poor built environments. I believe that this channel offers a spark of hope that is going to be a bonfire that lights us into the chance to review our spaces and to make critical decisions that optimize our well-being. In a nutshell, this channel seeks to inform you to make decisions while you begin to introduce elements, though aesthetic, into your built environment that are supposed to improve your health, not dwindle down your health. As we go on this journey of improving our spaces, reducing the need for hospital visits, let us learn, let us empower ourselves with the need to transform the spaces we live in. See you in the next video as we advance our discussions on the built environment and health.